Well, hello and welcome back. I'm Ron, and this is Boomer Life Lessons and Stories. We're here to share a little bit with you, and hopefully by sharing, create a positive environment in which you can come to and kind of retreat from the complexities of the world. And maybe perhaps hear something that might be useful and be a little entertained. We've just completed my first video. My wife, of course, she's the boss. We'll call her Miss Boomer. She told me that I need to fix the reflection in my glasses. And we're not very sophisticated in creating videos. So hopefully we'll get better as we go on. Maybe you will grow as we grow, and we will grow as you grow. We're setting up a email for you to share your own life stories with us, and perhaps we can get those on the channel as well. We would hope that if you did decide to send us some of your life stories, that they would be positive and help add to the environment we're trying to create here. So this story is about an overseas travel that I made on business. And we went to a place called Fernie Castle up in Scotland. And I made the statement, yes, I eat fried chicken with my fingers. And if you would like to hear the rest of the story, stay tuned. Please like, subscribe, and help us manage the YouTube algorithm so that we can continue to do this for you if you find value in this. So how does it all begin? Well, as with any professional, you end up working for large companies. They have an international footprint, and you do a lot of traveling. And because of that, you get to go places you never dreamed that you'd get to go to. But the work is difficult. It's hard. But you meet a lot of interesting people. You get to learn new things. You know that people are different from in different places, different cultures, different way of seeing things and doing things. So we went up to Scotland. Hopefully our good friends out in Scotland will be a part of this channel. My background is I believe it's 2 greats or 3 greats forefathers came over from Scotland around the North Sea area, I think, and migrated from there, perhaps through Ireland, then into the United States in the 1850s, 1860s timeframe. So I do have a connection with you guys, and I would say as well that this story has been very meaningful to me because it helped me grow up as a professional and as an individual. So we were over there working through some problems at one of the plants, and this plant was manufacturing computers and computer boards and things of that nature. So after a very difficult week in trying to fix these problems, we decided that we would meet some of our Scottish colleagues and go out to dinner at a nice restaurant. And we all decided that we would go to Fernie Castle. Now, we were in Dundee, Scotland, and that is one of the most glorious places you can go. The people are very interesting. They talk very melodiously, but they talk more from here than we do. And when you first get over there, as I encountered and started talking to some of my Scottish friends and colleagues, I had to ask them to speak a little slowly so that I could learn the dialect and actually understand a bit. But it was very good, and great people. It was just a wonderful place to have to go to do business and make new friends. So we all decided to meet down at the pub at the hotel, and it was right off the city square there in Dundee, Scotland. And we got in the cars and we drove up to Fernie Castle. And while we were getting ready to be seated in this room that we all had, I guess, reserved for the dinner, it was a long table and there was many of us sitting around the table. Before they actually began to serve, we were talking about the castle. And of course, it was the first castle I had actually ever had the privilege to go into. And knowing the way my mind works, I said, well, does the castle have a dungeon, right? A dungeon. And they said, sure, would you like to see it? And I said, of course. So the host there at the restaurant took us on a little tour going down into the basement area, the dungeon area. I'm not sure if it really was a dungeon, but anyway, it was very interesting. So we all gathered back to the room that we're having our dinner in, and to me, I got to tell you, the service there was superb. The food was great. The service was great. You couldn't have asked for a better environment. So we were actually talking, and among ourselves, our colleagues, about the work day, and our waiters and waitresses were off to the side. And if you actually even kind of blinked like you needed anything, they were there in a heartbeat. So we engaged them in the conversation. And one young Scottish lady spoke up, and she had a beautiful voice. That Scottish accent is just, I don't know, it's just something that's very, very unique and very memorable. And so she was talking about other people that had come through the restaurant and had dinner there. And she said, oh, we had Americans here last week. And we said, oh, well, great. We started talking about them, about, where they said they were from and what company they worked for. And she said, well, they did something that was really kind of shocking. And we're like, uh-oh, it's the ugly American syndrome. And, you treat people with dignity and respect. That's my motto. You always want to treat people with dignity and respect. And you get dignity and respect returned to you. So we were thinking the worst of things is going to happen here. The ugly American rose up and they were talking down to these wonderful Scottish people. No, that was not the case at all. She said, they ordered fried chicken, and you know what they did? They ate it with their fingers. And I'm like, what's the problem here? I suppose there was a problem, because I turned around and looked at some of our Scottish colleagues, and they're saying, yeah, you take your knife and you cut it, and then you eat it with your fork. And I'm saying, well, in the South, in the United States, we eat fried chicken with our fingers. I'm sorry, if you come to have dinner at my house, we're not going to give you a bunch of forks and knives to eat fried chicken with. You're just going to have to pick it up with your fingers and eat it that way. So we had a tremendous laugh about that. And of course, our host had a tremendous laugh as well. It was all done in fun. But the thing that we learned from that particular situation or incident, and it's not really a situation or incident, it's just something we experienced as we lived our lives. The thing that we learned was people are different. They come from different backgrounds. They come from different parts of the country. If you ever talk to somebody from Maine, the state of Maine in the United States, they probably speak a little faster than I speak. And I'm speaking faster now than I normally speak in my personal life. And it's just a kind of a YouTube thing, I guess. But in any case, people are different from different parts of the country. They're different from different parts of the world because of how they were raised, the culture in which they were raised. It doesn't make anyone right or wrong. There's not one way to do things that is only correct. There's many different ways to do things. And we should accept people as they are. We grow through our diversity. That's true. I mean, I learned things that have benefited me throughout my entire personal life and my work life by working with people from all over the world. I'm a better person, a more knowledgeable person because of it. But just because I do this, I turn left when I enter the store and the other person turns right when they enter a store, doesn't mean left or right is wrong. It just means it's a different way of doing things, a different way of seeing things. So I suppose the message of this particular life lesson is simply this: we are the sum total of everything that we've seen, smelt, tasted, hoped for, dreamed of, desired to be. We're all that rolled up from our past into the present. That makes us uniquely who we are. And guess what? Having relationships with different people, unique people, again, is better than gold. You learn from them. Knowledge is so very, very important. Awareness is so very, very important. Grow in your respect for others who may not do things exactly like you do, who may not do things the way you would do it. Whatever the case is, respect those who may be a little different. You're not right, they're not right. It's just a different perspective from which we all come to create this diverse country that we're in, this diverse world that we're in. And getting along together is what's most important to me. So, yes, I eat fried chicken with my fingers. And if you don't, maybe you should try it. And that's it. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. All the best.